is in the best angle for you all possible. That's pretty good. Yeah. Little tire marks on my chair, but other than that, it's great. Hello guys. I'm gonna be doing my makeup really shortly. Yes, makeup time. So let me go ahead and get my makeup out and make sure I'm not connected to the car. Okay, perfect. So I have an interview today, and it's just for a part-time job, something to I don't know, just some extra money so I can get these workshops going. If you guys don't know, I do have some physical workshops available as well. So a lot of people ask me, how do I do my makeup? So if you are a follower, if you are a supporter, whether from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course this platform as well, then you know this is for you. So this is my makeup bag. Okay, it's my makeup bag. Inside, it's 2 dirty bags full of makeup. First of all, inside it's filled with makeup, if you can see that. And then there's 2 bags. This is my avocado bag, this is my brushes, and this is my makeup bag. Okay? So, and then under that, there's like the Morphe palette and all that. So we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it, y'all. So the 2 people that are here, say hi. I'm human. Hey y'all. Shit. Anyway, and for anybody wondering, I am in Alabama. Okay, I am in Alabama. I'm a southern gal, if you couldn't tell by the arms. Okay, if you can't tell by this, I'm a southern gal. Now let's see what do I get into first? First of all, I have been looking for my eyebrow pencil for days now. I'm coughing up blood. What the fuck's up? Hope I do not end up in a coffin. That shit sucks. And the money for my car, gotta get some. Thank you so much for saying hi, Hannah. Hi, baby. You the first one to say hi in this motherfucker. Everybody else just staring at me. Everybody else is just staring at me. Like I'm up on an auction or some shit. Like, hey y'all, shit. Okay, yeah, so I got my makeup brush. Let's get into it. Yeah. What is my eyebrow brush? Yeah, so I cannot find my eyebrow brush. So what we're gonna be doing is we are going to be putting some mascara on my brows. That's what we're gonna have to do since I can't find my eyebrow brush. Yeah. So if you guys want to know how I do my makeup and it's your first time here, just go look at any video. Before I was a psychic medium, energy practitioner, before I started taking clients, I was a professional makeup artist. I am self-taught. I never went to cosmetology school or anything like that. Yeah, self-taught. I was a travel makeup artist. And I would, you know, I think the longest travel I've done for makeup was, it was a wedding. It was 12 hours long. So I'm in Alabama right now, and it was a 12-hour long drive to Indiana. So yeah, like I do this shit, y'all. Like I do this. I've been doing it since I was young. Okay, so I got my CoverGirl brown eyeliner, and I think I'm just gonna use that for my brows, like, instead. Let's see how that does. Just doing like some little fake hair strokes. Yeah, that's doing okay. That's doing okay. Let me use this mirror here. Make sure y'all can see that. Y'all see? Yeah, that's all right. Hello, Max. Yeah. So I got one brow done. And if you guys like don't even know how to do like anything, let me show you. So this is brown eyeliner. Can you see that? Yeah. So look at it compared to my skin. It's dark brown. And what I do is my eyebrows are more thin at the back. That was a really big stroke. But what you do is you basically create hair-like strokes. Now, of course, I'm gonna go in and clean this up. Yeah, so you just go in doing hair-like strokes to ensure that it looks more natural. Now, like I told y'all before I even started doing this, normally I use an eyebrow pencil. I can't find my eyebrow pencil for some reason, but what I'm not gonna do is let that get me down. So we're gonna use this today. Hello, guys. Hello. Yeah, so let me turn this camera back here. How the sun not sunning today? Okay, I got some hold on, let me see if I can put y'all in a better spot where you can see me better. Hold on, y'all. Every wish upon a star, but they listen. Motherfuckers never loved us. Wasn't with me on the tour bus. This would be a better angle, yes. But does it serve the purpose? No, it doesn't. So I'm just gonna put the camera right back over here and stop being difficult. Hold on, I'm putting it on my tripod, y'all. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the difficulties. So, got my eyebrows. Okay? They just look more full. My titty was slipping, y'all. It was slipping. Okay, what's next? So what I do next is, I mean, obviously, it is concealer. So I conceal those brows. This is what that looks like. I'm gonna do it in the mirror in the phone so y'all can see. And then I'm gonna do it in my car mirror. Yeah. So when I say I'm gonna carve my brow, this is what I mean. Okay? That's carving the brow. Now let me see. Yeah. So I'm going to finish doing this in the mirror. How do I put Q&A up there? Q&A. I'm trying to do a Q&A, but not completely sure how to do it. So I hope to see you all in my psychic journey. What are your thoughts on gender roles in modern relationships? That's a good question. Let me finish getting this out. Okay. A little hot in here. So, as a psychic, I look at things from an energetic standpoint. I do not listen to the words that people say. I don't focus on the actions that people do. I focus on the energetic signature behind it, right? The truth behind the scenes, the unseen truth. And when it comes to relationships, modern day relationships and gender roles, it's all fucked up. Like, it's all fucked up. It's all fucked up. First of all, what I see in women is women are doing the invisible labor. Women are doing the emotional labor. Women are doing the mental labor, right? So women are doing the... Okay, let's speak on gender roles first. Normally, the gender roles are... well, as a man, you provide and protect. And then as a woman, you nurture the children in the home, right? Cool, right? Cool. It makes sense. Oh, somebody said they want two for Saturday. If you guys don't know, y'all, I do so many things. Like, I hate working a job, so I'm so creative. I sell spicy bowls to the people who are locally in my area, and I just got 2 more orders for Saturday. Yeah, y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot, but you know, yeah. Back to the question though, because I really appreciate that question. Is it Abdi? Anyways, I really appreciate that question, Abdi, because the gender roles, it seems like, you know, men are supposed to be the strong ones and women are supposed to be the you know, the weaker, more fragile ones. But when I look into the energetic signature of most relationships, you know, just from my lived experience and whenever I have clients coming to me, the woman's doing all the work. Women in relationships, they are doing the work, and they're not doing they're doing the hard parts, right? They're not just doing the physical hard parts, but they're doing the inside hard parts, the parts that make you exhausted on the inside. And I think a lot of men don't know this. And you know, it's like whenever they get divorced, it's like, well, I don't know what was wrong. And it's like, I'm sure you don't, because you have no idea what she had to go through. So when I look at the energetic signature of where the woman stands in relationships, women are normally the people who are doing the mental labor. What is mental labor? From an energetic standpoint, how I see mental labor is you have 20 tabs in your brain. Like, okay, this child doesn't like onions, but whenever I'm planning the meal prep for the week, I gotta grab all the ingredients plus no onions, but this child does like onions. So, you know, just... it's mental tabs. It's, okay, this child has to go to the doctor this day. My husband has to go to the doctor this day. I have an appointment this day. Let's all keep everything together. Women are the ones who are managing the home. They're managing the harmony in the home. They're managing the children. They are cleaning up. What I see, you know, and then that's the invisible labor. That's the mental labor. When we go to emotional labor, women are the ones who say, hey baby, how do you feel? they know how their man feels before he even has the vocabulary for it. And then she adjusts, you know, basically the woman adjusts her moods surrounding the husband's emotional atmosphere. So it's kind of like, you know, let's say the woman will go up to the husband and you know, because she feels this heavy energy on him, it feels heavy, you know, she goes up to him and she's like, hey baby, what's wrong? And he says, no, I'm fine. So she's still feeling that heavy energy. She's still feeling an imbalance in the home harmony. And, you know, he doesn't want to communicate it because it's more comfortable for him to, what the fuck? Anyways, it's more comfortable for him to just, you know, avoid it, right? And what I see in men is men are coming with the 20%, right? And the 20% is, I mean, working a physical job, something that they would be doing even if they didn't have a wife, something that the wife would be doing even if she didn't have a husband. And somebody said, evil is staring right at you, we're coming for you. I'm shaking in my boots. Anyways, what I see is the men go into relationships and they want a woman who is carefree. They want a woman who is fun. They want a woman who, you know, is beautiful. She looks made up. But I don't think men really go into a relationship knowing how do you maintain a woman, right? The original word for husband is a man that tends to his garden, right? So how do I say this? Nowadays, guys, men are not tending to their gardens. They're not being husbands. They're not pulling out those weeds. They're not taking initiative in doing things that, you know, can take the load off of their wife. So it's like, it's kind of backwards today, guys. The women are the strong ones. They're coming to the relationship with, you know, the 60%. The man comes home like, me make money for us. You know, and it's like, oh, it's like, oh, well, that's all, right? And, you know, I don't think that men are taught how to be good husbands. I think that they're taught how to treat women like objects. And I really, I'm so tired of having to unpack that into, you know, yeah. And basically, and this is not to shame men. This is just the literally truth that I see behind the scenes that's happening. It seems like men go into relationships wanting a woman that's carefree, wanting someone. Thank you, Mashana. I don't know who this guy is. He just wants some attention. He doesn't think that he's worthy of love, so he has to come in here saying anything. But that's fine, baby. You are worthy of love, okay? You don't have to come in here being mean to get some attention, baby. You don't have to do that, okay? Thank you for removing him, though. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I see men go into relationships. They want a woman that's beautiful. They want a woman that's carefree. And then everything in the home, all the weight on her shoulders, her managing the emotional environment constantly. It's like men want women who are beautiful and carefree, but they don't know how to maintain that, right? A woman who is soft, she has to be protected emotionally. When she comes to you seeking that emotional safety, if you say, well, it's not that deep, if you minimalize her feelings, if you tell her to get over it, if you know, do anything other than embrace her in that moment, she's not going to be soft anymore. The more a woman has to figure it out by herself, she's going to become less carefree. The more burdens that she has on her, she's going to become less carefree. She's not going to be fun anymore if she's constantly having 1,000 tabs in her mind. Men want women who are beautiful, but they get in a relationship with them, put a baby in them, and what happens when you have a child? Your body goes into something. First of all, it's a whole death and rebirth in the birth process in general. Okay? Men go into relationships wanting a woman that's beautiful, put a baby in her, right? She has to go through the whole process of that, which they have no idea about, but they're constantly telling you, hey, the pain, they're minimizing everything. You shouldn't feel this way. The pain isn't that bad, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't have the strength. You don't have the strength You don't even have the strength for a period. If you put a period simulator on a man, he is going to ball up. They don't have the strength. So, as a man, if you cannot hold space, if you do not know everything that your woman is doing, and if you can't get home from work and maybe cook dinner or do the dishes so she has a little time for her, how is she going to be beautiful? Like, do you know how much makeup, like I spend an hour doing my makeup and hair. You don't have an hour to yourself when you have like kids running around, when you have them making messes that you have to clean up, when you have a husband that wants you to suck and fuck him when he gets home. Like, oh my God, how do you come up with that energy? If men and women traded places in just a day, I feel like a lot more husbands would be more attentive to their wives. But, you know, I think the gender roles are all fucked up. I think that, yeah, it's like the gender roles are fucked up since we got out the womb, y'all, because the men are taught, hey, you are nothing without money, and the women are taught, hey, you are nothing without your looks. So we go into relationships and the man thinks that me bring money, you know, is enough. But you going to a job and giving your wife your check so she can then, you know, take care of everything in the house, that's the bare minimum. Why would you be in a relationship with somebody if you don't want to be close to them? It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack about that. Basically, as a psychic, I feel that the gender roles are all fucked up and they're like that on purpose. It's purposeful, right? It's very, very purposeful. Yeah, I mean, men are groomed to just be mechanical, and women are groomed to just be servants. And, you know, a lot of women wonder why after they get done taking care of their kids, you know, after they get done hearing mommy, 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 they don't know who else, they don't know who the fuck they are other than mommy. They hear it 5,000 times a day. They don't know who they are other than mommy. So, I mean, the first thing that I tell women, you know, especially when they come to me about some relationship shit, I'm like, hey, when I look at your energetic auric field, you are so deep inside yourself that you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you like. You don't know nothing. And I have to tell the woman, like, okay, the first thing that you need to do is figure out who you are. Figure out who you are. Because your husband got with you for who you are. But you start to slowly lose who you are when all that you like, especially being a woman that's a stay-at-home mom, you're constantly at home with children. You don't get any validation anywhere. So if your husband doesn't come in and say, hey, baby, I love you, you are beautiful, things like that, you're a good woman, you won't get that. If your husband doesn't come in and remind you, hey, baby, you're something, you're other than, you're a person, you're not just a mother, then you won't get that. You will slowly lose yourself. And men want women who are beautiful, but how do you have time for yourself? Like, it doesn't make sense. A woman who is beautiful, this is what's going to come with the woman who is beautiful. She is going to spend your money on her beauty. She's going to need a lot of time alone. This stuff takes hours. It takes hours to do hair, hours for nails, hours for makeup. She's going to need a lot of time for herself. She's going to need a lot of time for herself. She's going to want to go shopping, okay? So it's like a man wants a woman who's beautiful, but she's stuck in the house all day. She's constantly taking care of kids. If you know that you couldn't trade places with your woman for a week, shut the fuck up and take some of that load off of her. take it off of her. I bet you right now, if you asked your wife as a husband, if you asked your wife, hey baby, would you rather work at my job and I stay home all day? 10 times out of 10 she would say yes. Because when them 8 hours is done, you go home. That woman is at that job with them kids all day long. All day long. Mommy, 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 mommy. And then, like, how the fuck is she even supposed to be in the mood to, like, how is she even supposed to be in the mood for something sexual? This woman just want peace and quiet. This woman tired as fuck. Plus she got mental tabs like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna have to clean the diaper, and oh, I gotta get that food prepped ready for dinner, and oh my god, I gotta set the oven up, and oh, so after I make dinner, then I gotta clean up the kitchen. I also gotta do the bathroom today. Oh my gosh, I also forgot that there was something in the garage that I needed to clean today. And oh my, it's an hour till my husband gets home. I do not want him to tell me I'm a bad wife. I've been caught up with these kids all day. And then where in that do you hear, oh, well, maybe I should go to Sephora and get me that new blush and be a pretty girl? No, that woman tired. So, what I see in healthy relationships, because I have had many clients come to me with healthy relationships. When I see healthy relationships, okay, let me just say this. This is the dynamic of unhealthy relationships. Basically, the man gives the woman money. He tells her what he wants to eat. He tells her, he gives the woman the money. He tells her what he wants to eat and, like how she should look and what she should wear and things like that. But the woman is the one who's leading. She takes that money and she becomes the leader that she is. She pays this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill. She keeps the mental notes, pays this doctor appointment, gets the kids clothes, gets them ready for school, pays for the field trip, signs everything, blah, blah, blah. She also comes up with the recipes. She goes shopping for the recipes, okay? She gets back home. What else do we need in the home? Okay, we need Clorox, we need blah, blah, she blah, 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 blah. She do laundry, it's making me irritated sitting here listening to everything, right? So basically, the man is the one who has the control. The woman is the one that leads. The woman is the one that manages the kids. She manages the house. What does the house need? She manages the vehicles, right? She manages, just the home environment. She manages just everything. And then that's a very unhealthy relationship. Very unhealthy. But guess what? It's most relationships out here. And then a healthy relationship, from what I've seen as a psychic medium, the energetic signature of a healthy relationship is a partnership. A partnership. It's where the man goes to work and then he takes care of everything financially. He doesn't just hand the money to the woman. He takes care of the bills. He does all that, so she doesn't have to also do that. And they partnership on physical labor in the house. They partnership on emotional labor in the house. So like what emotional labor is the guy will go up to the woman and say, hey baby, I realize that you're overwhelmed. What can I do to make this day easier for you? He takes that emotional labor to make her feel okay. Okay, women do a lot of emotional labor to make their man feel okay, to make the household feel okay. Okay? And let me see what else happens in healthy relationships. Oh yeah, okay. So what I also see in the healthy relationships is if the woman comes to the man and she's like, I don't know, crying about something, or I don't know, something happened, right? From what the women have told me, they are embraced, right? Their man literally, he lets them cry on his chest, and he says, well, hey, what can I do for you? Or he says, well, hey, you know, depending on what she's crying about. Let's say she's crying about I don't know, her mother passing away or something. You know, he doesn't tell her, well, your mom wouldn't want to see you crying, you know, just to shut her up so he's more comfortable. I don't know. It's just, as a man, the women in healthy relationships, I see that their man embraces them when they're in their feminine energy. When their emotions are heightened, the man embraces them. He says, hey, I'm right here. You can cry all day if you want to. He doesn't minimize. He doesn't say, hey, get over it. It's not that deep. Go do something about it. Mm-mm. He sits and he holds her. He provides that emotional safety for her. And, you know, normally what I realize in couples that do this, it takes a lot of that load off of the women, because a lot of women are doing emotional labor. They don't even know what emotional labor is, but they're still doing it. Like, when you can tell that there is pressure in the air, or there's heaviness in the air, and you ask your man, hey, how are you? You already know he's not fine, but he says that he's fine. So you were going to mention something to him like, hey, babe, I realized that most of the stuff that I clean up is your mess. You know, like, let's say when he got home, you was gonna tell him that, like, hey, I realized most of the mess I clean up is yours. Can you just not leave shit around? Because you're making my job a lot harder, you know. But as a woman doing an emotional labor, when he gets home and you see that he's not fine, even though he says he's fine, you don't even mention that. You don't even mention it. You say, all right, I'm going to adjust myself to make this atmosphere feel okay. That is what emotional labor is. That is what women do unconsciously. What happens to that, you know, what you wanted to bring up to him? What happens to that? It disappears. What happens to your needs? They disappear. That's why women don't know what they need. And then there's a lot of men that say, hey, I'm a good man because whenever my wife asks me to do something, I do it. Why does she have to ask you? These are your kids too. Why does she have to ask you to do something? That your woman is still managing. If she has to say, hey, man, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that, she still has to manage you. Take the load off of her and just go do it. Imagine, like, as a woman, our love language is not having to ask. Why does she have to direct you? Now she's the manager and the director. Just do it. These are your kids too. Why can't you just change their diapers? These are your kids too. Why can't you just, you know, it's your house too. Sweep the fucking floor. Clean up. And, you know, in the healthy relationships, I see a partnership. In the unhealthy relationships, I see the women doing the work. I see the women doing the work. That's what I'm saying. But yeah. And normally the women that are married and they're still really beautiful, like you can tell that they're kept up, it's the husband, baby. If you ever want to know if a woman is in a healthy relationship, look at how she looks. Look at how she looks. But yeah, I see a lot of men like cheating on their wife because they don't look how they used to look. But it's like before she met you, she didn't have kids to take care of. She didn't have all this extra work to do. She's exhausted. Like, she's exhausted. Like, you see how I'm doing my makeup right now? It's because I have time for myself. If there was 2 kids back here saying, mommy, 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 I would not be able to sit up here and do this. I would be like, hey, can y'all chill? What do you need? What do you need to be able to be quiet? Okay, so I see a lot of men, you know, they said that their wife doesn't look how she used to look. Well, what changed? The only thing that changed is you came in her life. Does she have time to take care of herself while you there? Does she? You don't make sure she has time. Like, you know, for me, I used to think that everyone else knew that 2 + 2 = 4. But I guess not, y'all. I guess not. I guess not. 2 + 2 = 4 if y'all don't know, yeah. But yeah. So if you, like I said, I mean, if you ever want to know how a woman is doing in her relationship, look at how she looks. If you ever want to know how a man is doing in his relationship, look at how his woman looks. The word husband comes from, a husband used to be the man that tends to the garden, okay? So to be a good husband, tend to your garden. Women are like gardens, okay? It's none of men's business what happens under the dirt. You're not supposed to know how we know what we know. You're not supposed to know how we, okay? Because the divine feminine, baby, this is all the unseen. You will never logically ever figure out a woman. Never. Never. So, as a husband, are you tending to your garden? Right? I see a lot of men get divorced because they say, well, my garden looks dead and my garden hasn't bloomed since I met her. Oh, really? Have you been watering her? Are you removing those weeds? When that flower comes to you and say, hey, I need a little bit more sunlight, are you trimming down the trees so she can get more sunlight? If your woman comes to you like, oh my God, I'm exhausted from the children, are you giving her a break? Are you pulling out the weeds that are slowly killing her from the inside out? If you want to tell if a man is a good husband, look at his garden. A good husband, baby, it's a harvest in that motherfucker. They don't run out of shit. It's a harvest. The wife looks beautiful, like a fresh flower that just bloomed. You know why? Because all the weight ain't on her shoulders. Because she got a man that she can go to and he do something about what she tells him. He don't say, well, me go to work. No. When she comes to him and say, hey, I need time. Hey, I need you to do more around the house so I can have a little bit of time to myself. There are so many mothers that they don't even have an hour to themselves. They don't even have an hour to themselves. Not an hour. So, that's why they forget who they are. They don't even have an hour to themselves. So yeah. Society teaches men, they teach, well, this is how you be a husband. You go and you go to work to pay for the seeds. Paying for the seeds are not enough. It's not enough. If your woman was single, she would be working. You going to a job is not enough. Like, what? It's not, it doesn't make sense. If you can't go up to your partner and say, hey, how can I make your life easier? Like, if you don't go up to your partner and say, hey, is there anything I can do for you? How can I make your life easier? As a husband, I don't think that you're tending to your garden. But like I said, a lot of men say, well, my garden is dead and everything is brown and my wife doesn't get pretty anymore and she's gained so much weight and blah, 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 blah. It's never, why is my wife stress eating? It's never, why did my wife let herself go? These women let themselves go because on the inside, their spirit is slowly decaying. Their spirit is slowly decaying. They don't know who they are because they're constantly filled with tabs. I gotta do this, 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 I gotta do this. While they're doing that, all they hear is mommy, 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 mommy. A lot of dads can't even spend a weekend with their kids by themselves. Me go to work, you take care of home. And then it's like, well, I don't know where the divorce came from. The divorce came from you not treating your wife as a person. But hey, it's a mess, child. It's a mess. But yeah, so normally whenever I see a woman get into a relationship and she start to look bad, it's the guy. It's the guy because he adds so much extra stress to her life. Just being in a relationship with a guy and he's unhealthy. Like, if you come to him like, babe, I don't feel like that's okay with you still being friends with somebody who, your ex is with. And he responds to her like, well, it's not a big deal. What you just said was, hey, fuck how you feel. I'm not changing anything. What that tells the woman is, how I feel doesn't matter. He says he loves me, but obviously he does not. Because my well-being doesn't matter. Continuing, what that tells her is, I am not emotionally safe to bring things to him. This is not a safe environment. So she stops bringing things to him. And of course, the man, especially with how the society teaches men emotional avoidance, the man is like, oh, she's not bothering me anymore. She's not nagging. Everything must be good. No, she knows that there's no point in bringing anything up to you because there's no repairing this relationship. She's done. Womp, womp, womp. She done. And men be like, I feel so carefree. She is not, she's not bothering me anymore. Yeah, And then she slowly starts to not care. She don't care if you're going to talk to your ex. You're not the man that's going to love her anyway. She don't care if you leave home or if you get here at 3 a.m. She don't care. She's indifferent. Because at the beginning of the relationship, she would bring things to you. She would get dismissed. She would be told that it didn't matter. Why would she keep bringing things to you? She doesn't care anymore. So if you guys are wondering what healthy communication looks like, let's say you are a husband and you bring something to your wife. Like you say, hey, babe, I don't like when you wear those dresses with your cleavage out or something. And she says, well, I'm going to wear what I want. What she just said is, I do not care about how you feel. I don't care about your perception. And nor does your well-being matter to me. Now, a healthy relationship would look like the man saying, hey, babe, I don't like that, dress with cleavage that you wear. And she says, this is how you repair, right? You acknowledge it. She says, okay, I get that it makes you uncomfortable when, I have a little too much cleavage out. Okay, I acknowledge that. And then what? You apologize. Well, I am, my apologies for wearing this dress. And, I'm pretty sure you told me that you didn't like it before. So my apologies. And then what happens after after you acknowledge and you apologize? You change your behavior. If they don't change their behavior, they were not sorry. They don't have any remorse. So after that, what would happen is she would go put on another dress, right? And throw that dress away. That's how you repair something. But what happens with a lot of men is the wife comes to him and she says, hey, can you not just leave your socks all over the house? Because I literally have to find them, and it makes laundry so much more harder. It makes my list of things to do so much more harder. Just stop adding extra to my load. And he says, well, me go to work and you be the wife. What he just said was, I don't care how much harder your job is, nor do I care how that makes you feel. I do not see you as a person. You are a maid. Pick the socks up. And now I'm going to throw some extra socks around, and I'm going to make sure they're real extra sweaty too. That's what she heard, at least. Because nothing in his response gave, hey, you are a person, and I will make I will make your life easier for you because I love you. I don't want you to be stressed. So what normally happens when a woman comes to her husband is, number one, he does not acknowledge. Let me do the healthy relationship. So let's say she comes to him and he says that, right? And a healthy man in a healthy relationship would say, hey, thank you for bringing this up to me. I acknowledge the fact that, I do make your life harder by just leaving my shit everywhere. Instead of putting it in a laundry basket like you've been asking me to, so you don't have to go hunt, my clothes while you're doing everything else that you're doing. I apologize for being reckless like that again. And for being insensitive and, just absent-minded. I apologize for that. From now on, I'm going to put my clothes in the laundry basket. So all you have to do is just pick up the laundry basket and take it there instead of hunt for my clothes. Okay, baby? How does that sound to you? A lot of women have never heard their man say that. What that does is make that woman say, oh, he sees me. He sees me. But, you know, normally what happens is guys say, I'm sorry. You know, like, oh, I'm sorry. They don't acknowledge the impact. They say that they're sorry, but nothing changes. Hey, sorry for leaving my sock around the house again. And then tomorrow comes and she has to search the house for his socks. Imagine actually believing that he was sorry. Like, imagine actually believing that there was something happening here. And then you see another sock and it's like, oh, he doesn't see me as a person. And then what normally happens here is just damage on top of damage. The guy comes in, she says, hey, you left socks again. And he says it's not a big deal. And instead of explaining to her man, like, hey, it's about the principle. It's about, I'm here taking care of our kids together. I'm very overwhelmed. I don't have time for myself, and you picking up your socks would give me an extra 10 minutes to sit down. And you can't do that. She's not going to feel seen as a person. And then all the man does is say, well, she's blowing up over a sock. Over a sock. Really? No, it's over your inconsideration. And that's why they get divorced. Yeah. Normally, people don't really just get divorced over like one big thing happening. It's small things that accumulate so much that you don't even have emotional safety in your own partner. You can't even go and talk to him about something. Like, literally. And then, you know, it gets to a point where it's just easier to get divorced than to tell you how fucked up you've had me all this time. Yep. All right, I'm done with that topic. What is that? What is this black stick? Hold on, y'all. Let me go tell this person I got their order ready. I'm back. But yeah, like I told y'all, yeah, I be doing spicy bowls for my people who are locally. If y'all don't know what a spicy bowl is, well, for my spicy bowls, I put crawfish, shrimp, and sausage in them. And then it's like the seafood boil sauce. It's the seafood boil sauce in there. And then, of course, all the juices. So it's pickle juice, jalapeno juice, banana pepper juice, mixed with that. And I just put it all together with the banana peppers, pickles, and yeah, with the banana peppers, pickles, and jalapenos. Just throw that all in there with the meat, and you get some chips and you pick it up and eat it. It's so good. So if you guys are in the Auburn, Alabama area, or even Columbus, I have some people from Columbus too, then you can come get you a spicy bowl. That's just a little something that I'm doing. I'm working on a lot of things. I'm working on a lot of things, so I just The extra money was great. Like I told you, I have a lot of workshops and things I want to take off the ground. Later today at 6 p.m. is my psychic ministry. So I'm going to be here on YouTube Live, Psychic Ministry. You can ask me questions. It could be psychic questions, and it could also just be regular questions, like how this person asked me, well, what is my take on gender roles and relationships nowadays? You can also say like, well, hey, this is the situation I'm in. I've been married for 13 years, and the marriage feels cold. Do you have any advice? You know, things like that. Or you can say, I don't know, it's like, is there any messages for me? Or is there any messages for me psychically, or from, you know, any divine entities that want to speak with me? Because as a medium, I can get those delivered too. Like from guardian angels or past over loved ones, I can get those messages delivered. Yeah, so psychic ministry tonight at 6 p.m. Central. And basically that live is just going to be me telling whatever truth that you need to hear at this time. Okay, like whatever truth that the collective needs to hear at that time, that is what I'm going to be speaking on. For the psychic ministry, I do not do tarot cards or anything like that. It's just it's literally only my gift. And it's basically like a channeled message. It's like a psychic channeling, because I'm just like, whatever the divine is giving me, I just give it straight to y'all. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I just had to tell this man, because I do have the chips are optional, but he wanted some chips. Okay. So, are y'all here? Here's the good part. So how I do my foundation, I don't have a certain foundation color, so I get, let me see, I get this truly matte color, okay? Because you know, as a black woman, they do not put our shit in the store. So I get this color here. It's in nude. I put that on there first. I get this color. It's hazelnut. I use the hazelnut on there. This is more of an orange tone. Yeah. And then I get one last one, and it's a more of a cool toned. Okay? And this is in chestnut. This is Neurogena? I don't know how you pronounce that. I think it's Neurogena. Yeah, so I have to get 3 colors for my foundation, and you'll see why. So if you can see, my skin is not that color orange. So I just drip some of this on. Oh shit. Okay, and now I put that color on there. You see? So it's all 3 of those colors mixed up. And as I mix them up, you'll see why I do that, because it's my exact skin shade now. Now look at that. That's my skin. Like, that's my skin. Literally. And actually, I need to add a little bit more of this darker shade to it, because I'm more cool toned. Yeah. See, I gotta add that darker shade. But yeah, man, as a black girl, you gotta mix up 3 fucking foundations. 1 cheddar and 1 sour cream. 1 cheddar and 1 sour cream, motherfucker. It's sour cream and cheddar ruffles, mister. Oh my God, let me, hold on, because let me tell him that before he send his money. Sour, see, this is why the chips is optional for my spicy bowls. You better be learning, Mashana. Have you tried Fenty foundation? No, I have not, and I want to try it so bad. I want to try Fenty's bronzer as well. Y'all, this is a mess. I gotta get my tissue out because I refuse to waste all my napkins on this. So use more colors to get your perfect match. Yes, and it's literally trial and error. Like, it's literally trial and error. Because first I got this foundation, and after I put it on, it was too dark. So then I got this foundation, and after I put that on, it was too orange. So I have to mix all three. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. It's a mess down here. Y'all should be glad you can't see this shit. So at 2... Sorry, y'all. Let me reply to this man. Okay. So I'm back. Okay. So I'm back. I had to tell that man, because he said he want 1 cheddar and 1 sour cream. I had to tell him, sir, cheddar and sour cream is one flavor of a chip, not separately. Okay, so here we go. You see all of this foundation on my face, right? You see it, you see it, you see it. First, I start off with mixing it with my neck. I put this foundation everywhere. But you see how I just highlighted my eyebrows, right? So I kind of stay above that. Put your finger on your edges so your edges ain't white or brown with the makeup. Okay. You see how I left some of that highlight there? Yes. That's so my brows look like they poke out, okay? Like I just got them done. And then this is a brush, but I just buff it. I don't drag, okay? I buff it. Buffing it makes it look more like skin. If you drag wet foundation, it will leave streak marks. So I buff it out. Buff blend. Yes. Yes. Now, if you look at my neck, I have psoriasis. So when my neck gets dry, it gets dark in those spots that it's dry. So I don't even put foundation on my neck because it's like I've lived like this long. I'm not ashamed of my, psoriasis. So I just put it, if you can see where it stops right here at my chin, I just drag it down like right over my chin. So you can see where it stops here. I just drag it down here. Now, this is when I actually brush it. So you brush this time, right? I done lost some weight, so my jaw is a lot more defined. Now, for the ears, excuse me, I don't put foundation all over my ears. I just drag it right there so you don't see where the foundation ends, right? Just drag it right in this area so you don't see where the foundation really is. Our nose has creases, so make sure you pushing that nose to the side and getting a crease. Alright, that's the easy part. That's the easy part. So then I take this light color of foundation. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me. I am trying to do multiple things at once. Okay. Now, for this, I put some concealer under my eyes. And I never buy concealer. I always get foundation because it always comes with a lot more in the bottle. And it's like the same price, but you get a lot more if you use foundation. Concealer is normally in a smaller bottle. So I'm gonna show y'all where I put my concealer placements. Alright. So I just dot it, and then I get this brush again. And I use that brush to really show me where I want that concealer to be. So I go up. I want my face to look up, right? So I go up with my concealer. That's why it goes up on my nose. Going up on the eyes. Up. A lot of people do the concealer going out. That makes your face look like, you know how East Asians, their face looks longer in the middle, like they have like a long drawn out face. That's what that does, but I want my face to look up, so that's why I do this. Here. And then my natural eye shape, it goes up. If you look at my eyebrow, my eye connects to my eyebrow like this. So I just follow that, like that. Somebody said, I'm new to this channel. You're very beautiful, pretty, loving. I like your hair. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is actually my first time doing a Get Ready With Me live. So, I'm excited. Oh, I brought that too far up. So this is just supposed to be for the middle of my forehead. And then I go above my eyebrows like that. Yeah. Okay. So, I used to use a beauty blender, but now I use brushes to blend everything. This brush is from Sephora. Did I get it from Sephora? Fuck no. Well, I appreciate you for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate that. My normal content is not this, though. I need to let you know that right now. I am a psychic medium energy practitioner, so I specialize in giving the truth behind the scenes. And most of my content is that. Like, when you watch my content, a lot of people say that they cry. But, you know, as a soul translator, as a soul communicator, I really do speak to your soul. So whenever you go to my content, know that, you know, you're going to feel seen, and, you know, you're just going to feel seen on a soul level, and that's what I strive for. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend. Well, I appreciate you for that. So I blend the outside of my concealer first. And if I'm going too fast, y'all, make sure that you save this video after I post it, right? So if you have my notification bell on, make sure you have it on now. After I post this, you can go to the video, type. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Is it Jadia? Jadia? Yeah, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, so let me know. Yeah. I forgot what I was saying before that, but But yeah, I hope to see you all on my psychic ministry tonight at 6 p.m. Central. Now, what was I saying? So after I upload this on YouTube, you can go to the video, and in the top corner, like up here somewhere, it will say settings, like a settings icon, like a gadget icon. You click settings, and then you click playback speed, and you can play it back in slow motion while you're actually doing your makeup. And you know, as I'm doing mine, you can do it in slow motion. So if I'm doing it to it's pretty close. I don't like to be close. I like to be right. I like to be on point. Okay? I appreciate that. Oh, this person says, I hope that everyone gives you the love and respect that you deserve. I really appreciate that. Normally, I do get love and respect. Well, I will say this. When people see my content for the first time and they have been like self-abandoning for a while, or they're just, you know, avoidant of their own emotions, or how do I say this? Their inner world is chaotic, right? On the inside of them. When they watch my content, it triggers them. They're like, well, how do you know that? You know, it really does trigger them. So if you are someone, it doesn't, you know, the shock of that doesn't trigger you and make you angry, but it triggers you in a way where, oh, this feels like truth in my heart, then that just means that you are self-aware. It means that you are emotionally mature to some degree. Whenever people are very, very emotionally immature, like, you know, they behave like, you know, 5-year-olds on the inside. You know, like if somebody says something that don't work, if somebody says something that they don't like, they have a tantrum and stuff like that. You know, if they are just emotionally immature, then my content bothers them so much. And it's so funny. It's so funny because I don't even know who you are. Like, when people comment on my stuff like hating, it's like, I don't even know who you are. You know, like, I post this content for the people that need to, that need somebody like me, that need somebody to say, hey, you're not alone. That's why I post content. So anybody else, y'all, I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like, my own family didn't agree, you know. My own family didn't agree with, like, what I do, you know. They didn't believe in me. They didn't support me. So it's like, do you think that I give a fuck about people online? I'm back, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I was just communicating with that guy about the spicy bowl. Like I told y'all, you know, locally, I'm doing some, food, spicy bowl stuff on Facebook Market, while supplies last. So I just want to make sure that, you know, that I reply back to him for his pre-order Saturday. Jay says, I want to support you no matter what. Well, I appreciate that, okay? You can support me by doing a lot of different things. And I'm doing a giveaway for you. I'm always hit the like button, okay? Alrighty, well, thank you. I'm glad that you are. But yeah, if you want to support, you can donate to the channel. I don't run ads on my channel. Like, I don't want to do that, nor will I do that. I don't care. So I don't make any money from this channel. I don't run ads. I don't like having ads. I hate skipping ads on YouTube. So why would I put ads on my channel? So, you know, this is a free channel, and if you want to help support, you know, because YouTube isn't paying me for ads or anything, you can send a donation if you like. Okay. Or of course, you know, you can book a session or whatever. For anyone who is wondering or wanting to book a session or something like that, I'm pretty sure that my price list is in my post. Somebody said they are a human and a dolphin hybrid. You never know, child. You never know. You never know. Cause real life is crazier than the fiction shit. Really is. Whenever you do a makeup, you follow your bone structure. My cheek goes up, so I put my makeup underneath my cheek that goes up. I didn't put it straight, right? I put it going up because that's how my cheek goes. Okay. And then normally this is where I do my yeah. Yeah, so this, now I'm doing my my eyeshadow. Oh, you have a blessed day too, Jay. I really appreciate you, and I love you too. You have an amazing day. Okay, such a beautiful soul. You need me to join you in the deep dark sea? It's funny that you said that, Mr. Dolphin hybrid or lady. It doesn't really matter. It's so funny that you said that, because whenever I do my energy work, I literally hop out of my body and I go meditate, you know, at the bottom of the sea, like in the darkness. So calming. It's so calming to me. Okay. Yeah. So with this palette, I get a brown shade, tap the dust off, and I just go up with it like here. And then I pat it on my my eye. So the way that my eye is shaped, if you just look at my eye, right, my eyelid, it covers my what is it, my extra like eyebrow fat or whatever. It covers my eyelid, so I put my eyeliner going up so you can still see it. And of course I blend it out though. You'll see. When it comes to eyeshadow, first you pack it on. You pack it on, you pack that color on, so the color isn't like, so it's pigmented. And then, and when you come to packing something on, use a brush that is more dense, right? It's more dense. Now, you can tell the difference between my packing brush and my blending brush, and I'm gonna show you that now. My blending brush, when it comes to eyeshadow, is a lot more fluffier, right? It's a lot more out, and this is why, right? Because I blend with this. So I'm just going to blend this for a little bit, and I'm going to show you how it takes away the harshness. You can already see that, don't you? You see that? Look at this side. Look at that side. So it blends it. It makes it more like an ombre. It takes away the harshness. I take my eyeshadow all the way up to my eyebrow. Only at the top. I leave this part white and go to here. So I'm going here, 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 here. Yeah, so basically, yeah. And do this other side. And like I said, I have an interview for this part-time job. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I'm doing. So I'm getting this color here that's white, and I'm putting it up under my eyebrow. Take away some of that harshness at the top. Yeah. What's next? Eyeliner is next. So I'm gonna take this shimmery shade here, and I'm gonna just put that on my lid. When it comes to shimmery shades, always use your finger, because whenever you're using a brush, you lose all of the pigment. Like, you see how you can see that, like you just swipe it on? Your skin it transfers glitters a lot easier than brushes do. So I always use my finger for glitter. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna go back in with that brown shade and just blend the glitter into the corner of my eye. Oh shit, I forgot to put some powder on my nose. Well, okay, now that we look like this, now that we look like that, what's next? Oh yeah, eyeliner. This is my eyeliner brush. I gotta lick it a little bit. To make it flat like that. It's still a couple hairs everywhere, but I use this black shade. Because I use eyeshadow, I have to lick the brush. So it turns the black powder into like a black eyeliner. Okay? When you're doing your bottom lashes, take your pinky, drag it down, and put it right up under where that pinky is. If you do not take your pinky and drag it down and you just put it here, you're going to end up putting a lot more black down, and it's going to make your eyes look a little raccoonish. So to keep a black line, like just a thin black line up under your eye, just drag it down a little bit and put it right up under where your flesh is. Okay? This is why I use black eyeliner. This is black eyeliner, this is none. Okay? Sometimes you gotta do your mouth all type of way. That's okay. I can't. Okay. This is what we got. This is what we got, y'all. This is what we got. Okay. Now that I am at this point, I put my blush on, and then I put my contour, my powder contour over my blush, and you'll see why. Okay. See if I can move y'all where you can see it better. I'm right here on the highway, y'all. Don't mind the noise. I'm right here on the highway. Da 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 da. See if we can get it set up. Yeah, that's a little better. This will help me show y'all how to do contour and stuff. Yeah, this will be a lot better. Okay. Are we even? Are we even? I think we not even, y'all. We even now. We somewhat there. We somewhat there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to show y'all. Yesterday I had made me octopus incense holder out of some air dry clay, and then I made another incense holder, but it's for rose. So I had to paint those. Yeah, I have to paint those and all that jazz before I can, like actually show y'all the finished product, of course. So at this point I have a lot of makeup on my hands. My hands just look really, really dirty. So I will have to wash my hands. But okay, at this point, this is where I do my blush, and this is where I do my yeah, where I do my blush and my contour. So today I'm actually going to be using some, thank you, yeah, they are really cute. Today I'm actually going to be using this orange color here. So normally I don't use orange blush, but I am trying it today. You know what, actually I might do this orange and this peach. Orange blush looks good on brown skin, and I think they said if you have fair skin, I think they said light pink, not hot pink, baby pink. Yeah, I use baby pink underneath my eye. So, but yeah, So I'm gonna go in with this blush. First of all, it looks a lot crazy when you first put it on, but I am somebody who likes blush, so I go crazy, like I go dumb. And that's how orange blush looks on brown skin. So that's why they say that orange blush is really good for, you know, brown skin girlies, because it just looks, it really enhances our warm tone, you know? Like, that would look crazy, but on my skin, come on, you know, come on. Okay, here we go. So I do my brush in an ombre. That doesn't even look orange. Does that look orange on my skin? Like, it doesn't even look orange to me. Let me see. It never looks orange to me. Like, my blush never looks orange to me, guys. I put blush on my nose, on my chinny chin chin. Okay, so that's the first layer of blush. This is the blush that goes underneath my eyes. This is the baby pink color here. And it just goes under here. See that? Look at the difference. This is with that pink brush. This is without. Okay? The only real difference is from my eye to my cheek, it blends that blush seamlessly. Look at the placement. I'm not putting this all down here. I'm putting this right up under my eye. Okay? Yeah, the orange really does do something. Somebody said orange. 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 Yes. Y'all really crack me up, like for no reason. Okay, now it's time for my well, normally I do my contour, but I'm gonna just skip to my lips right now. I lick my blush a little bit, okay? And I get the color that's brown. And let me show y'all. I gotta do this up close. Oh! What the fuck? Y'all, I'm sorry. That was not a good look. That was not a, what is that? It looks like it's patching. It is patching. Okay, okay, you know what? This is a learning moment. This is a learning moment. This is a learning moment. Let me show y'all. Okay, if you can see this, right here up under my lip, there's this patch going on. This is my face powder in the shade, it's called press powder. It's in the shade 165. I take this shade and I go right back over. This is what I would have to do whenever clients will start crying, whenever, like, in the middle of their makeup. Okay? For me, since I'm in the car, I was sweating. But yeah. So we're just going to fix that up right on up. Just like that. Straight like that. Okay? What was I doing, y'all? My lips. Uh-huh. Okay. What the fuck? Don't get pissed off, Kiana. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna go with it. I thought I was putting on dark brown. This shit black. Good thing I got lip gloss to cover this. I do overline my lips a little bit. Ooh, somebody asked me a good question. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you would never know I was using orange. Thank you so much, Marie. This is a really good question. Somebody said, I'm just gonna say Abdi. Abdi said, what part of your own upbringing do you hope to change for your children? That's a really good question. So a lot of you guys don't really even know my upbringing. So first I have to give you a little backstory on that. So I was born and raised pretty much in Dothan, Alabama, right? So Alabama, straight out the gate. I'm an Alabama gal. Okay, born and raised Dothan, Alabama. Well, I wouldn't say raised technically. So I lived in Dothan, and I was honestly raised all across the South, really. Well, let's just say this. I went to a lot of different schools growing up. So I learned early that don't get too comfortable where you are. I learned really early how to be adaptable because I went to different schools. So let me see. I think I did first grade. I was in Headland, Alabama for first grade. For second grade, I think I was still in Headland. For third grade, I was in Dothan, Alabama. For fourth grade, I was in Chicago, Illinois. I was in Chicago, Illinois for fourth grade. For fifth grade, I came back to Alabama. For sixth grade, I don't know. It's so many places. Okay, I stand corrected. Third grade, I think I was at Eufaula. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. First grade, Headland, Alabama. Second grade, it was Eufaula. Third grade, it was Eufaula. Fourth grade, it was back to Headland. Fifth grade, I left Headland. I came to Valley, Alabama. I lived in Valley, Alabama, until I moved a lot of places. I went to a lot of schools. I'd say the part of my upbringing that I want to change specifically for my children, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be the part where I moved a lot, because I feel like that made me really, really adaptive. Really adaptive. Now, I did grow up as the middle child, and I have 4 other siblings. I have 2 more siblings that I was in the house with. So I was the middle child of the 2 siblings that I lived in the house with. The other 2, they were from different women. So I never lived with them. And my mom and dad were together for about 10 years before they got divorced. And I'm not sure how long I was alive out of those 10 years. I think I was alive like the whole time. Yeah, because I think they got married after my mom had kids. I don't know. I don't know, child. And, you know, whenever they got divorced, my mom and dad got divorced because my dad was cheating. And, you know, we met his mistress and all that, and the type of woman that she was, my mother outranked that woman in every degree. She was beautiful. She was more beautiful. She was more smart. She was more hardworking. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing. My father, he wanted something easy, right? You can't get easy with a woman like my mom. You can't. So he wanted something easy. So he went to find a mistress that was an older woman, and she let him live in her house like rent free. You know, when I say easy, I mean easy. She wasn't a better woman. She was an easier woman. She was a more palatable woman for him. You know, when he cheated, my mother was gonna say something, and she was probably gonna stab him too. You know, it was toxic. But my dad met his match with my mom. But you know, growing up, seeing my dad leave my mom for a woman who was easier, it did something to me. It said, you know what? I never want to be that woman. But continuing on, after my dad left, I quickly realized that as kids, you know, we started to become the adults. So me and my older sister were the ones who were supposed to be responsible, right? Be responsible like a parent would, but stay in a child's place. You know, I heard that so much. It's like, which one do you want me to do? But really, you know, my mother she was a single mom at that time, and, you know, trying to find a man. I had a couple different stepdads. I don't know, I think it was like 4. I had a couple different stepdads. But it felt, you know, growing up, I heard a lot. Like, my mom would tell us, like, well, I'm trying to find you a dad. But she was never trying to find us a dad. The men that she chose, I genuinely believe, like, and then growing up as a child, you know, I'm a natural psychic. So I've always had these abilities to see into people. Except, you know, it was really suppressed as a child. People would tell me, well, that's just in your imagination and things like that, because they didn't have my abilities, or they already had suppressed theirs a long time ago. I knew my mother's inner child before she did. So growing up, whenever I would see my mom with these different men, and she would tell us, well, I'm looking for y'all a daddy, I knew that deep inside, her inner child was looking for a dad. She's been looking for a man who is safe her whole life. And, you know, it didn't matter what we told her. It didn't matter when we said, hey, Mom, I like it just being us. You know, I like it just being us and you. I like it like that. It didn't matter to her. It didn't, because obviously she was looking for a father on the inside. She was looking for that man that she never had. And you know, it was just easy for her to say, well, I'm looking for a dad for my children. But maybe that can help you understand my upbringing more. Let's go into my adolescence. As a teen, if my mom had a boyfriend or not, let's just say, and let me say this, my mom worked very, very hard. She worked 18, 16, 14-hour shifts. She worked Christmas, birthdays. She worked. No, she was not emotionally present. She was my mother and father. No, she was not emotionally present. You can't take care of 3 kids by yourself and still go home and ask them, hey, are you okay on the inside? There wasn't space. Okay? There was not space. If I was not physically being neglected, everything was good. I was never asked, how are you as a child? Never. Never. So that did something to me. As a child, I was always told that my emotions were too much, right? Because as a woman with 3 kids by yourself, a child's emotions are going to make your day harder. You don't have time to sit and say, hey, baby, what's wrong with you? And then what happened? And what can I do about it? Or at least my mom didn't. She didn't have time for that shit. So shut up, be quiet, and make my life go easier. That was my childhood. And if I was sad, I was called crybaby. If I cried, I was called cry. My family made fun of me for my emotions. They did. I was bullied. I was bullied horribly. My mother hated herself and she hated how she looked, but she could never admit that. So, you know, as a child, even whenever I was like skinny, I was called fat, I was called overweight. They would tell me things like, don't you grow no more, or you look perfect just like that. You know, things like that. My mother would tell me I was stuffing my face, constantly being monitored while you eat, being told I'm eating too fast, things like that. The women in my family, they were very insecure and they projected all of that onto me. I could hold it all. I could hold it all. My older sister, she was more sensitive as a child, but she didn't have the capacity that I had to hold it all. I could hold it all, right? So they would call me names. They would treat me like I didn't have a heart inside of me. But, you know, growing up, I was the one who, you know, would make the dinner. I would make sure, like, I would have to tend to my siblings and, like, hey, don't do that because mom's going to be mad when she gets home because there's a fingerprint on the wall. You know, when my mom got home, you just made sure that you had everything cleaned or she was going to yell. And it was days where we had if we cleaned the whole kitchen, she was going to go to the bathroom. If we cleaned the kitchen and the bathroom, she was going to say, there's fingerprints on the wall. There's a crumb on the carpet. As children, we had to regulate my mom's emotions. Don't do this or mom's going to be mad. My entire childhood was surrounding trying to keep the peace in the house, trying not to make her angry. She was so angry. She was so resentful. Like every day I would hear, you know, well, as a mother, I was just supposed to birth you. I don't have to take care of you. I don't have to feed you. You know, I don't have to. My job was to birth you, and I done did that already. I don't have to do none of this. I don't even have to offer you a house to sleep in and On the days I got kicked out, I didn't have a house to sleep in. But, you know, she made sure that we knew as children how much that we were a burden to her. So as a child, I would try to focus on, well, how can I make everything else easier? And, you know, my voice is shaking right now because, because I loved my mama so much. I seen her so deeply, and it hurt me that she never seen me as a person. It did. I seen how much she hurt. I sympathized for her when she was angry. I tried to make her life easier. I tried to be a quiet kid. I tried to ask for less. I tried to make sure the house was clean. But if it was a spoon left in the sink, it was fucking World War III. The women in my family, I've always seen them so deeply. You know, I seen how my grandmother, she's really light skinned and she has like green eyes. So, you know, she grew up in the old days where she was white passing. I seen her soul so deeply, even as a young girl. So I would excuse things. I would excuse her when she would say, well, Kiana, you the darkest, so you need to act right.